Alright, we're back again to talk about things. I don't know why I said we're back. I'm by myself, unless there's a cat in the room. Nope. Good to go. Alright, yeah. Well, anyhow, I'm back to talk about things. Mainly, new blossoms coming up for Wight King and Hellion, former very often used units, especially in Arena. Before that, we have, for Global, us folk outside of Japan, we got the brides coming. And the DQ stuff, DQ2 stuff, good lord. His is really good, his is neat, hers is okay. And then Zoma, whose is great. Anyhow, let's focus on these two for now, and we'll talk about what I would like to see blossom later. Because the point is kind of, these two guys were used all the time, and then all sorts of shit came out, and they got really overclassed. So it's neat to see them get a little bit of juice. And his... not to start the video off grim, but his is actually not amazing. Video's over. Sorry to disappoint, but it's neat because he gets he's got a ton of agility, pretty good wisdom, a 2 move which sucks, but his new move, 3 range out 5 across, much like Dragon Lord's Zam new spell and Jessica's Sizz spell, so you can kind of keep him back off to the side, hitting people. He also gets translate please. Whoop, thank you. He gets 20%. I believe this is just whoosh potency, so 20% more damage on top of whatever his wisdom is doing, which is great. So big spell, lots of AoE, lots of damage. And then he's got this neat, and by neat I mean strange, when he's dead proc. It does a thing called this that lowers people's move, apparently. I read that from, I forget the guy's name on Reddit who did the translation post of when it was originally announced on the Twitter for Japan. So when you're defeated by an enemy, if the enemy's within range of 3 to 4, and I don't know if that means it has to be 3 or 4 tiles away. That's weird if so. Yeah, then someone's move lowers. The goal in the game is not to die, so this isn't like something you're going to want to use, but he's really quick, so as like a defending guild versus guild unit, in Arena, if he gets thrown out into the thick of it quickly, can hit some people, and, you know, Sorrow's like, ouch, that son of a bitch hit me with those stupid tornadoes again. I'm gonna go kill him with my fire cross, whatever, the frizz attack thing. And you kill him, and then it's like, oh, whoops, now I have one less movement. That's gonna mess up some strategies in Arena, so if you use him, he's quick, he gets out there, does some damage, dies. Which is such a dumb way to use them for, but I mean, this is, I guess, why they gave it to us. It could kind of screw up some strategies in Arena, but it makes sense given. Oh, and also he's getting a 40 agility, which goes well with his already pretty quickness. I'm sorry, that, and then when you blossom him, 574, which is insane. That's insane for an S tier. That's like super high. So, but anyways, pretty interesting. So you can do a little bit of damage, hit people from far away. He's got 20% potency on top of it, and when he dies, he lowers people's moves. So apparently bites your ankles after he's dead, and now you're going to be hobbling. The next one, Mr. Hellion here, another former, very often used Arena guy, and used for a lot of stuff, honestly. So he, very high attack, very high agility, and has a 4 move already. Translate, please. Whoop. HP's whatever. There's a lot of excuse me, a lot of A tier units now that have 1,000 plus. But he gets a 4-hit frizz attack move, 70%, so 280 damage overall. And it can, and I believe power, quote, translation from Japan to English is defense, so chance to lower defense for 3 turns, but it's 4 hits, so you could, if you're lucky, proc all the 3 that you need to kind of cap the lower defense, which would be kind of neat. Regardless, you'll get 1, probably 2, pretty much every time. So, but for him, along with his new move, he gets a higher base crit rate. 5% isn't amazing, but if he's hitting 4 times, you'll sneak in a crit or 2. And he also gets a double attack buff for 3 turns. So he's very front-loaded, 4 move, high agility, lots of attack, slashing folks, growling, forearms, Goro style, whatever. And that's kind of neat. So great for PvE, especially if you're putting him against enemies that are doing whoosh or zam. He can kind of take some hits. Oh, he's immune to stun. That's actually really good. Weak to Fizzlock and Sleep. There's not a ton of... There's an okay amount of sleep. There's a lot of stun, though. And there's actually a pretty good amount of bind and blind, so people kind of forget to use those too. But, alright, that's pretty good. But yeah, front-loaded. He'll be fun to use, so... And Frizz attack is neat because there's a lot of good units weak to Frizz. I was about to say Dolmegus, but if he's Awakened 1, he'll be immune to any of his moves given the evasion. The other two Awakens coming with it aren't anything amazing, but for their tiers are kind of neat. I'll just go over them kind of quickly. His, for a D tier... I actually don't know what a D tier's good stats are, so I couldn't really tell. But he gets an extra move. He gets a 1x3, 250, and it pushes them back one space. That's kind of neat. So he's got a 3 move. He can reach people, push them back. So if you were to hit someone at 3 and then move them back, they have to have a 4 move with no AoE, or 2 or 3 with a little bit of AoE to get back and hit you. But he also gets, at the start of the battle, increased physical power and recovery. This, I saw this earlier. This is actually kind of confusing. I'm guessing increased physical power by 1.5. So he just gets 50% more attack damage. That's amazing if he does, but it's only for 1 turn. So if you don't use him, obviously you lose it. But the recovery power is weird. Why would he get... I'm guessing that means like healing potency. Like if he gets healed, it's increased by 50%. Unless that translation is not exactly what it says, but... Anyhow, so he gets a pretty useful move. Knockback, a little bit of utility. Gets an extra move, so instead of 2, it's 3. Overall, pretty good. And then this fella, prickly son of a bitch, after I translate, gets the Queen Slime, King She Slime, squish move kind of thing, AoE. Range of 3 and then, square all around. Does physical damage, so typeless to everybody. It's an attack. And it generates a thing to where it leaves, not a degen. Well, like after a turn, if you stay on the ground, you take 100 damage. Or, actually, wait, am I reading that wrong? Generates Thorn Mass that deals 100 damage within range. Affect target. Maybe that... I was under the impression that left like an after kind of ground degen, but it almost sounds like, which is not a great solid thing to go off of because it's translated, but it sounds like it just does an extra 100 damage. That can't be right. It might be. Oh well. But if, regardless, it's one or the other, he gets like a big surprise, here I come, move, and then a little bit of neat utility. So they're kind of mixing mechanics. And for an E tier, that's actually kind of interesting because E tiers really don't have a lot. As an E tier, I want to say 540 HP, 309 attack is probably pretty good. He also gets... Whoop. When you're defeated by an enemy, so he's got another on death proc that is diamond large. I'm guessing that's the rhombus AoE, the kind of 4x4 diamond shaped AoE, which Global calls rhombus. I wish they would just call it diamond, but anyways. Cactus Sparking is activated. It only activates once per battle. I'm not sure what Cactus Sparking is unless it's similar to like the ground degen or something, because I don't see any current moves called that unless there's something I'm not seeing. But anyhow, for an E tier, pretty neat. Gets a nice move, hits lots of people, generates something, either an extra on hit or like a ground degen. But if you put him out there and you do all this damage, if it is like a ground thing, people might forget it's there and come up to kill him, and then, oh, oops, they're taking an extra 100 damage, which, no, isn't a lot by that number itself, but there are a lot of times to where you're surviving a battle with 100 or less HP, and if that kills you, you are going to be pissed, believe me. But with these two guys getting the Blossom Tree juice, it's neat because they were used a lot, then no one's seen them since, and now you'll see a little bit of use for them, hopefully. It's neat to kind of wish or hope for other former really good units to get a Blossom Tree to kind of push them over into that potential meta use territory. And for me, if I had to pick one S tier, it's almost a tie, but if I had to pick, I would say S-Tark. Because S-Tark now still, he's like, okay, he's not trash, he's far from bad. He does a lot of damage, he's got a really strong typeless, he's got a 3 move, he... He's got a shitload of HP and a really high attack. Not amazing defense, okay agility, but he's a big lumbering brown something or another, so wouldn't expect him to be fast. But if he got a Blossom Tree and it was, you know, because he already has recovery when his if you have him awaken one, which a lot of people do because he's been out for a while and he's been featured in like the 48 banner and the Dark Lord banners and stuff. He heals for like a third of his max HP, I think, when his HP drops below 50, and 50 is an easy threshold to reach. I know, like, Marquis de Leon, who's like my other favorite, no one ever uses S tier. I think he has to drop below 40 or 30, and he doesn't have a lot of HP, so a lot of times he ends up just getting killed before his recovery can proc, which is a shame. But he's got a recovery, and then he's got a thing to where when he's attacked, if he just takes any hit damage from an enemy, it raises his attack for 3 turns. So it's easy to get his attack stat, you know, cap, so to speak. But the point is, if he got any sort of like potency, physical potency on top of that, or like a 4 move with that, or like defense and spell defense or whatever, he'd be really good at that point. A 4 move would make him, imagine that giant 2-sword holding thing running around with a 4 move. That'd be nuts. But he's already got some pretty good utility and damage, so if he had a little bit of more buffness, what's the word I'm looking for? Tankiness, excuse me, or 4 move, or like an AoE slam, like a typeless, he would be really good, I think, at that point. But him, and I think Emperor Slime would really benefit. The game would benefit from him getting a Blossom Tree, because we have Terry and Zerfie, and they both have their kind of uses. Terry's got an AoE heal with damage reduction built in, which is good, but primarily he juices up damage because he does potency, which goes, it's a multiplier on top of, you know, attack damage and spell damage stats and stuff like that. So he can really boost people's damage. And then Zerfie's got the AoE heal with regen, and then the counter heal. And he's got Kabuff, AoE defense increase, and then he's got Cheer, which is okay, multi-heal, cool. But he's really tanky by himself, so it'd be neat if he got like built-in defense, spell defense, and then like maybe the counter heal. So if he got sort of like the Zerfie / Diamond Slime treatment, that'd be kind of neat because he's kind of already there halfway between the two of them, but he's not good enough to use for either one. So it'd be neat if he got something to where he was used for EX content and now you had other options, because a lot of people have him but don't have maybe Diamond Slime Zerfie. Well, Diamond Slime's used to absorb blows, not heal. But a lot of people wouldn't have young Terry, or Zerfie, but maybe have him. And if he got beefed up, that'd be kind of interesting. So, but yeah, that'd be kind of my wish list. Slineheart would be another really good one, because he's not terrible now. He's just really easy to outclass. 3 move, high agility, really high damage, okay HP. Puts out damage, lowers defense. So if he got, you know, an AoE attack, some sort of recovery, chance to follow up attacks, you know, he used to be pretty dangerous in Arena alongside Dragwar, who was someone else if he got what is he, a beast? He used to be a beast. There we go. Yeah, if he got a tree with a 4 move, high agility, high damage, he would be really good too. So, because you look at him now and you're like, he's not like super trash, but there's so much other good stuff. So, and that's the whole point of the Blossom Trees, is to like make these older units like, hey, remember this guy? He's good again. So, but yeah, that's kind of like my wish list. And to ramble further and drag the video out, which isn't my intention, but there's so many good A tier. I mean, on this page alone, he's great. He's great. He's got a 4 move with Spell Reflect right off the bat. He's great. He's okay. Oh, we just talked about him. He's okay. But yeah, where is he? There you go. Boom. He's really good. There's a lot of A tiers that would, if they got a Blossom Tree, they would be, you know, phenomenal. So anyhow, hopefully the point was made. Rambling aside, me ramble, get the hell out of here. See ya.